and have it be just putting the Tezzeret in there. You have to actually decide to make your deck be a Tezzeret deck.
Yeah, the deck has to be built around the card.
Yes.
So that's an interesting build standpoint. Oh man, this is gonna be fun.
Okay.
So we have deck lists. I have Gary Hummel's deck list here. Gary Hummel is playing a Valakut deck. And it looks pretty off the wall, actually. He has a Wormcoil Engine main deck. He has 2 Acidic Slimes main. He has 2 Koth of the Hammer main. He only has 3 copies of Green Sun Zenith. He has 1 Cultivate. He's still playing the 4 Bolt. He only has 3 Explorer. He only has 3 Colony Heart Expedition, and he's playing 27 land. His sideboard looks decently well positioned for this weekend. He has Pyroclasms and Ratchet Bombs. So,
yeah, the thing that's really surprising to me, looking at Gary's list, and we're getting the game underway, so we got a turn 2 Inquisition of Kozilek
from Ben Goldy.
Yep. And he sees a Green Sun Zenith, Explorer, Acidic Slime, 2 Primeval Titans. I was going to say, the thing that looks unusual to me about Gary's deck, I've seen Koth of the Hammer in Valakut decks before, but I've never felt like it was quite correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good sideboard card in Valakut decks. In my opinion, I feel like it's really strong against like blue-white control or black-blue control type decks.
Here we go.
You can play it on turn 3.
It's sort of like the alternate plan. No play on turn 2. Now, his opponent, Ben Goldy, 4 Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas, 4 Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah, I mean, this deck seems good. He has 1 Blue Sun Zenith. He's 2 Mox Opal. He's 3 Go for the 30. He's Contagion Clasp and Tumble Magnet.
Now, Stoic Rebuttal. Stoic Rebuttal is awesome to me that he actually has a deck that could use the Stoic Rebuttal as blue-blue counterspell.
Yeah, it's a lot of the time in these matches, that's just going to be a counterspell.
Now, Contagion Clasp is particularly interesting in a deck that includes Planeswalkers. You know, like, that's what it's there for usually, is to build up a Planeswalker, but Tezzeret being able to acquire a Contagion Clasp, and then Contagion Clasp being able to make Tezzeret a little bit more powerful.
Yeah, I mean, if at any point he has 10 artifacts in play and 8 lands, he can go Tezzeret, activate Contagion Clasp, you're dead.
Yeah.
So if he can make it to the late game, and this deck certainly has the tools to do that. He still has Grave Titan, though. He decided that he still wanted the top end win condition. I'd seen a list from Nick that only had Jace and Tezzeret as win conditions. And often when they were losing, it was because they didn't have something like a Grave Titan. So it's good to see. He probably did a lot of testing with a deck like this.
Something to hold the fort, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, it's something to kill your opponent with.
Okay.
Like, you don't...
Something to close it down. Okay.
And also just something that it fights very well.
That's a whiff with an Inquisition, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, he is stuck on 2 mana here. So, sorry, 3 mana here. And yeah, he just scoops it up. He knows that a Primeval Titan's coming. And then once that hits, he's not going to do anything with it that's going to be useful. So might as well go to the next game.
Yeah. And I like when people do that, when they're not just drawing it out. Some people like to draw it out because it gives them more time to actually play. And they just like have time to, you know, like see more cards in their opponent's deck or something like that.
I mean, it depends on what I'm expecting to see, right? Like, in this matchup, with what I've seen so far, I don't know that there's much more that I'm going to see. What's my opponent going to show me, right? And Ben's deck has the capability of closing out a game really quickly, but it might not actually do it. You know, it might have a game where it takes a while to close out a game. So a few more minutes could make a difference in game 3. Okay. From the sideboard, Ben Goldy has access to Memoricide, Flash Freeze, and Duress has applications in this matchup.
Most certainly.
On the other side, what do you see coming in for Gary?
Well, Gary doesn't really know what's in his opponent's deck. Gary's probably bringing in some Gaia's Revenge. I presume he's going to take out his 2 copies of Avenger for some Gaia's Revenge. He may even take out his Wormcoil Engine and only a single copy of Avenger. He may bring in some extra acidic slimes. It's strange to me, the Gary Hummel list. Only 3 Explorers and only 3 Colony Heart Expeditions.
That's a very bizarre choice. I mean, that's not a card that either of which you'd usually see a 3 of. I mean, they really don't have actual analogs that you could be replacing them with. You know, they're not perfect analogs to each other even.
I actually only played 3 Colony Heart Expedition in my deck in Atlanta.
Was there? Tell me about that. Like,
well, I felt like I only wanted 11 2-mana ramp spells.
And you had the 4 Explore already,
yeah,
right?
4 Explore, 4
Overgrown. Okay, Rampant Growth. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, I think the difference there is those make the Colony Hearts your 11th. You know, 9, 10, 11, right?
Yeah.
This deck doesn't have that. So, I mean, he's got 4 Overgrown Battlements, 3 Explore, which then makes the 3 Colony Heart card look a little weird to me. Like, maybe if it was 2 Colony Heart, 4 Explore, that would make more sense to me.
Yeah, there are... this is a very eclectic Valakut list. Yes, when you look at the top end, though, his threat density is huge. He has 2 Avengers, a Wormcoil Engine, 4 Primeval Titans, 2 Acidic Slimes, and 2 Copia Hammers.
And then after board, if he wants, he can go up and get... Yeah. After board, he can add in Wormcoil Engine and Gaia's Revenge. For those of you who are just joining us, this is Adrian Sullivan with Star City Games Live, bringing you live coverage of the Indianapolis Standard Open Series.
I'm Jacob Van Lunen, and currently we are watching a match in round 7 with Gary Hummel facing off against Ben Goldy. Gary Hummel is armed with Valakut. He's up a game. He got the first one. And Ben Goldy is armed with a blue-black control Tezzeret deck.
Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas, making an appearance here. He was stalled on 3 mana, so he wrapped up that game pretty quickly, scooping to go to game 2. Let's see if he can make a little bit more to happen here in this game. We have a mulligan there from Gary Hummel.
Ben looks to be keeping.
So what Ben really wants here, I think, is he wants to kind of ramp very quickly, perhaps with a turn 1 Inquisition, and then into a turn 3 with Acceleration, Jace or Tezzeret.
That's the plan.
That's the ideal draw. The ideal draw.
And I mean, it's not too unreasonable. Like he has 7 2-mana accelerators and he has 8 4-mana planeswalkers. So it's not unreasonable at all.
Now let's see what he gets. A little late to the party for that particular line of play, but still before Gary can do anything. There's an Explorer there. Is that a Colony Heart expedition on the far left?
Yes, and an Overgrown Battlement.
Yeah, so he's got several targets, and the rest is all just land.
Takes the Explorer.
Concerned about an extra card being of use. Preordain, shows him a flash freeze and something. Flash freeze. He's looking at the flash freeze. I see a Grave Titan, maybe 2 Grave Titans in his hand. Puts them both on top. Turn 2 from his opponent. Gary puts probably, I'm gonna guess he's gonna put the Overgrown Battlements into play.
That makes sense. He wants a second green mana.
Yeah. Goes with the Colony Heart Garden. That's okay. They're both reasonable depending on if you drew anything of note. I mean, the Colony Heart Garden's ability to trigger can be valuable. If he doesn't have a 4-drop to cast on the next turn, there's no reason to try to explicitly go into it.
Yeah, there's no reason to rush that.
That Colony Heart Garden is just underneath the word Indianapolis. So if you can't see it, it's just there because of our Open Series logo there covering it up slightly. Puts 1 counter on it, their first counter. Cast Overgrown Battlement. Which pulls the flash freeze that Ben Goldy saw with Preordain.
I'm surprised he used the hard counter on that.
He could have another flash freeze in his hand. He could have a Stoic Rebuttal. You know, just cast it to keep that from helping Gary push forward. Another Colony Heart Expedition. I actually view that second Colony Heart Expedition as being really dangerous, because it really threatens the ability to explode out the mana in an incredible way.
Yeah, Colony Heart Expedition is a pretty amazing card. Lets you win on turn 4 a lot with Scape Shift.
Okay, stuck on 4 mana here. This should be, if I don't miss my guess, lay a land, lay a Jace, pop that Overgrown Battlement. We saw this line of play happen before.
Yeah.
There we go. Except for the person did not do the play. They actually held back. And as a result, they got, oh, wow, okay. He's not afraid of that. He thinks that he knows that last card in hand. It's not a Primeval Titan. It's not a land. He's only got 1 card in hand. Is that correct? It looks like Gary. And so he's presuming, which might be very reasonable, that there's not going to be any scary thing happening on this turn. There's a Zenith.
Let's explore. Get a little deeper.
And now he has the ability to pop both Colony Hearts.
For a standard win box, just 3 players. If you're interested in playing either of the matches, come on up and see Megan.
I mean, when you have 2 active Colony Hearts, you essentially have enough mana for everything.
Yeah. And now he pushes back.
Time is now 6:21. Your round will end at 7:11.
So I don't think he has any counter magic in hand currently.
No, I don't see any.
That would lead me to believe that a Brainstorm would be of use. Does another peek, Fate Sealing his opponent. Leaves it there, always a hard sign when the opponent says that's fine. With those Colony Hearts there, I don't know that I would have done the Fate Seal. I mean, he can just reset that at any moment. What do we got there?
It's the Sphere of the Suns.
Sphere of the Suns. I definitely didn't recognize the art either.
Tapped.
Gary and I both were in the same spot. What is that card?
Sphere of the Suns.
He cracks the 1 Colony Heart, using it as a means to reset the Fate Seal, and also to bring his mana count up to 8 in play. Do you have the math there right? Yeah, 8 in play, and then he could go up to 10 if he wanted. And he does have a Green Sun Zenith in his hand.
So he could be casting Avenger this turn if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually consider cracking that other Zenith or that other Expedition, just so that I could cast a, if I draw a land, a Green Sun's Zenith into Mana Leak and have it resolve. Get a Primeval Titan. That requires him to have a land in hand, but the alternate is holding it back to reset for Jace once again.
We're sure he has the Zenith in his hand?
I'm pretty sure he has it in his hand. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I mean, this is a great opportunity to actually resolve
1, 2, 3. He's counting. Counting is often the sign of an X spell.
It's true. So here we have Gary's going to cast the Zenith.
There it is.
We're going big. And Ben is
If this resolves, that's a rough one.
cold.
Here he comes. Our favorite giant.
Primal. Bum, 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 bum. Primeval Titan. So once again, I'm Jacob Van Lunen, here with Adrian Sullivan. We're in Indianapolis at the Star City Games Open Series. Today we're covering Standard. Tomorrow we'll be covering Legacy. Right now we're covering Round 7. This match is between Gary Hummel, a Valka player, playing a very eclectic list. He's got cards like Acidic Slime, he's got Avenger of Zendikars, he's got Wormcoil Engines, he's got everything. And
Everything.
and Goldy's playing Tezzeret, which is awesome.
Things look bad for Ben, but I'm going to tell you, I really hope that he takes it. Getting rid of that Primeval Titan is fine and all, but now there are just so many mountains out there, and there's the Valakutes out there, and this is a real position to struggle from. I'm not sure that I agreed with the Fate ceiling a little bit earlier, just because of that Colony Heart to be able to get out of it. Whereas if he had looked in, he might have been able to find some kind of counterspell to be able to take care of business there.
Now they're just making sure that the Green Sun Zenith was shuffled back into the library, which it was not. So. Uh-oh.
I don't think there's going to be
That'll probably just be shuffled back into the library.
Yeah. I mean, nothing has changed such that there hasn't been a card drawn. There hasn't had anything happen on Gary's side that would change anything if they just shuffled it in. So there should be no problems. A warning, a stern look.
Basically, you're right. It should have been shuffled in. It wasn't. And it's unfortunate that nobody noticed this, including myself.
Gary's giving his judge FaceTime. It's good.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to leave the Zenith where it is. Out of curiosity, by the way, sir, how was it that this didn't end up getting shuffled in?
I was actually surprised he let it resolve. I was actually surprised he let it resolve. So.
These new cards, right? Alrighty, so it is Gary, yeah? Gary, I have a warning for you for game rules violation. You've not received any warnings for that already. Okay, Rob, I'm going to be more careful about that. Again, we're going to leave the sun where it is, make the Zenith where it is. Additional fractions at the same time.
And how could this possibly have affected?
Well, even if they were, I'm just saying that they're likely to be lenient because of the newness.
Yeah. The ruling is that they're going to leave the Green Sun Zenith where it is.
Enough time has passed.
Yes. He's had one draw step, I believe, right?
No.
Oh, he's had no draw steps.
Yes.
So it's okay. This is game 2. Gary Hummel is up a game, playing Valakut. we have out of Ben Goldy's list. One of the things I really like here is that he's playing 4 copies of Preordain, which I think is kind of just a staple in blue decks at this point. Blue decks in almost every format.
I'm not in a camp on this one yet. There have been a number of people, I think kind of notably Shaheen Surani, who have advocated for Preordain as a, how do I want to say, optional card.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm not sure he's wrong.
And that's fair. I'm not saying that it's a necessary for it, but especially in a deck where you're looking to engineer one of those, turn 3 Planeswalker. Like, that's what this deck wants to do. This deck has 3 Sphere of the Suns, and 4 Everflowing Chalice, and 4 Tezzeret, and 4 Jace. It wants to play a Tezzeret or a Jace on turn 3. That's what it's trying to do. And by playing Preordains, you're increasing the probability that type of thing is going to happen.
I would say in response to that, though, that you only have the opportunity, if you're going for that line of play, to make that play with Preordain on turn 1. And with 8 copies of your various Planeswalkers that you want to play that are 4-drops, you already are pretty good at doing it. Now we've got Grave Titan, who is dead but leaving his friends behind.
Yes.
His stern-looking Rashads.
Oh, he should have that zombie Rashad token.
Zombie Rashad.
That would be fitting for this type of situation.
Is that a Gaia's Revenge?
I believe that is a Guy's Revenge. Do you remember? It's much less friendly looking than the Liege.
Yes.
Yes.
The Liege looks like an old man that's happy, and Gaia's Revenge, on the other hand, I'm not exactly sure what it looks like. You know, in this kind of matchup, Gaia's Revenge is basically a role player. You know,
it's
less scary in basically every way than a Primeval Titan, but it does a job. If Ben Goldy were to have Memoricided away the Primeval Titans, he'd have a threat. It can't be counterspelled, and it actually means that in a lot of games where your main plan has gone away, you've got another plan. Right now, Ben's in trouble. He's looking to find a way out.
It's tough though. When you're slinging blue spells and your opponent plays like a Thrun or a Guy's Revenge, it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, the Zenith, the Black Zenith, is one of your ways. And he does have access to that. But in this matchup, it's kind of hard to decide how many Zeniths you want to have. You know, like...
Yeah, are they that good? Does he even have them in at this point?
They do deal with an issue like Thrun, but they are totally terrible if your opponent is going on a Valakut plan.
Yeah. They're just dead cards.
What do we have there?
That's a Tezzeret.
Wow, I'm still not used to the art.
It's awesome.
He's making a 5/5.
I feel like new Tezzeret, like...
Okay.
Ben is explaining to the judge how his cars work.
Yep, that's how it works. Okay. I think maybe the concern might be on the sleeve.
That's the only reason I see. Let us all just try to.
So
Okay.
here we are. The now that Sphere of the Suns can now block and trade with Guy's Revenge.
I take it back. Sphere of the Suns is a great card.
Yeah.
It can kill Gaia's Revenge.
Kills Guy's Revenge. I was wondering how he's going to have an answer to that.
I mean, his initial answer was just going to be chump, chump. But now...
Well, it tramples.
No. Gaia's Revenge has haste. It does not have trample.
Oh, it does not have trample? Surprises me.
It feels like a trampler. You, like, look at it, and... I mean, it feels like it's just going to go over whatever's in its way. Stoic Rebuttal. Oh, that's a good card. Acidic Slime not able to take out the 5/5. Of course, it does mean that he had to tap it in order to make the Stoic Rebuttal happen.
Oh no, he can most certainly take out the 5/5 with the acidic slime. It's an artifact.
No. Stoic Rebuttal means that the Acidic Slime cannot take out the 5/5.
Oh, he had it. Okay. Yeah, I thought you were saying that because it's a creature. Slime
No,
can't
no,
hit
no.
it. Slime kills creatures if they are artifacts.
A mountain comes into play to take out the Tezzeret. Jace is still hanging out, but I believe otherwise Ben is empty-handed, draws his card, has Jace and a 5/5.
That's not too bad to have.
How many Valakuts do we have on the other side? Is it just one?
It's just one. Oh no, it's two.
Jace finds Preordain.
Tezzeret?
No, Tezzeret's dead. Tezzeret got Valakutted away. The Preordain is just going to bury those cards. And there they go. Fresh, newfangled card right here. What is that? Is that a Tumble Magnet?
I believe that is a tumble magnet.
Tumble Magnet not particularly effective against Gaia's Revenge, but it will be a useful way to hold down potential future Primeval Titans. He's at a high enough life total that... Oh, I'm wrong. That is a Tezzeret.
That's a pretty good one.
Wow. And up it goes. Him doing the peer through the depths for an artifact.
And there is... Oh, there's some action there.
He has to grab an artifact, so it looks like... What is that going to be?
Tumble magnet.
There it is. Now, Tezzeret Jace is like a dream. You know, it's very much like a Jace Squadron Hawk is a dream. You get that going, and it just feels absurd. This is a big turn for Gary. This game, on this coming turn, could easily go completely in his camp. All it takes is any number of cards for everything to fall apart.
He just needs a haymaker.
Yeah. I mean, he actually even would be fine if he got a mountain. If that's there's two Valakuts. One mountain would kill that 5/5. Then his Gaia's Revenge could come over and kill either Tezzeret or Jace. Now let's pretend that he were to cast Primeval Titan. Primeval Titan would just blow the game open.
Well, that would just be the end.
Yes. On the other hand, if he doesn't cast one of those things or do one of those things in the next turn, a turn with Tezzeret Jace could just end it.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat both those cards, especially when they're in
Primeval
conjunction with one
Titan.
another. Wow, he slow rolled that so hard. That's brutal. Oh, man.
That is
I would be sad.
12 damage running around. That means he can kill both Planeswalkers and have 3 damage left to boot.
We can kill that and both Planeswalkers, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's part of the killing both Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
You start there. And that's it.
That'll do it. Ben Goldy's deck looked pretty awesome.
Yeah, I
He
think
started some stuff together. Gaia's Revenge is not a card you see often, but that is so strong against Ben Goldy's list.
And, you know, like, Gaia's Revenge is one of those cards that it's there specifically to handle this kind of situation where you might be in a position